Alright, what up, fam? I'm getting a little good burn in out here on this country walk. Man, there's something about like country walks that are extra special. Plus, like the temperature is just right. Anyway, I was thinking about my experiences with racism all throughout my life. This is probably one of my most traumatic experiences right here. This goes all the way back to when I was in eighth grade. It's in middle school. This was in the like mid 90s, right? Um, Maybe like 96, something like that. 96, 97. Getting older, I'm 40. I don't, somewhere, it was mid 90s, y'all, okay? Just trust me. All right, this was in like Crofton, Maryland. All right, I was in Crofton Middle School, Crofton, Maryland. And this was like around the time when Columbine happened, right? It's not that far away from that, removed from that. And like we started having like a lot of bomb threats going on in other places in the country, but like right there in Maryland. I was in Anne Arundel County at that point in time. And we had already had, I think, 2 or 3 bomb threats within like less than 2 months, right? And what happened when we had bomb threats was we gotta leave school early, right? So as a kid, we know like, hey, this is different. Something's going on. This ain't cool. If there was a bomb, that'd be horrible. Of course, they were always threats. They were usually like kids trying to get out of school, right? And so we knew that. And so it wasn't that, we knew it was bad, but we also knew it wasn't that big of a deal because what's one of the things you want to do when you're in eighth grade is get the hell out of school, right? So of course we're like, oh, this is cool. Oh, phone's getting a little shaky, y'all, because this is a dirt road that I'm walking on. You see that? So you're gonna have to forgive me for that, all right? I don't edit these. I'm just throwing them up there because we don't let perfectionism get in our way, right? Plus, I'm just authentic, man. I'm me. I'm just me. That's all. I ain't trying to do anything else but be myself on this channel. All right. So, anyway, these bomb threats happened. It was like the 3rd or 4th bomb threat that had happened. So we're about to like leave early. We know what's going on. We're excited. We're like, oh, cool. I honestly really didn't feel like being in school at that point in time. Now, when I look back at that point in time in my life, I started going through a lot of changes. I was 5'11" in 8th grade, y'all. I'm 5'11" now. I was 185 pounds in 8th grade. Big boy. Big boy. All right. I used to be in this martial arts school that was in pre-gentrified Silver Spring on Bonifant Street. Everybody was black and brown. We had like 2 Jewish dudes up in there. I was in the adult class as a 13-year-old because I was a giant. Also, just haven't gotten any taller since then. So that's a video for another day with my own insecurities. So anyway, right. So picture me. I'm in 8th grade. I'm 5'11". I'm 185 pounds. I'm muscular. I'm in shape. I was doing martial arts and soccer at that point in time, right? Okay. Funny side note, you know who was in my 8th grade with me? Eddie Snowden, or Edward Snowden. Yeah, that one. Okay. I went to 4th through 9th grade with that dude. Different story. So we get a bomb threat, right? I'm in line with one of my homeboys, this white dude, taller than me. I mean, he was like 6'2" in 8th grade, had a bald head. And we were in line. I was like, man, I just knew we was going to have a bomb threat today, right? You know what happened? Oh, do you know what happened? Less than 3 minutes later, the assistant principal, this white woman, comes out and she says, come with me. She grabs me with all of her care and energy. She's like, I'm gonna call the manager on you, right? So she took me and handed me over to the police. I was in 8th grade. And she said, here he is. Here's the person who did it. Come on. So this, it was like, this cop, man, it was like it was written from a Tyler Perry movie, man. No disrespect to Tyler Perry. Shouts out, hey, let me be in a movie if you want to talk about mental health. I need to get paid. This cop was like, he was tall, fat, white, redneck cop, okay? And he was like, come on with me, boy. Oh, gosh, man. I'm feeling like my heart beat fast as I talk about this, but this walk and this fresh air does good. And it's good to get these things out. Put me in handcuffs, threw me in his car, made up a bunch of lies, tried to interrogate me. They had already asked around. Apparently they knew that they were going to try to get me for this. Started naming my friends. Hey, your friend so-and-so said you did this. We already talked to them. Just tell the truth. We know you did this, boy. I'm sitting in the front seat with this dude. I'm a kid, y'all. I'm a kid. It's 8th grade. Start crying. What's gonna happen? Thinking about it now, I didn't realize I had anxiety, right? It's probably like always been there. Definitely has always been there. Because you know what one of my thought processes were? I'm gonna go to prison. And because I'm tall, light-skinned dude, and I was speaking the Queen's English, they're gonna try to test me. And I ain't to be tested. And I'm gonna let someone know what the deal is real quick. And I'm be in prison for life after that. This was the ruminations that I was going through in my head in 8th grade because of this racist incident. All right, so he's in there, he's just going through, I know you did this, boy, just stop your lying ass, all this stuff, man, to an 8th grader. And all I'm saying to them is like, I'm sure there's a recording of the phone call somewhere. My voice is very distinctive. Does not sound like most 8th grade boys or girls or 8th grade people in general. And just listen to the call, man. Come on, help me out. I didn't do this. Why do y'all think I did this? All right, so long story short, I get home. All right, my parents are like, hey, Wes, how's school today? I'm not trying to be funny, right? I don't know how to explain racism. I don't know how to communicate what had happened to me. That experience was debilitating on many levels, right? Am I wrong? What am I doing? Oh gosh, I guess this is just something that happens. I have to embrace it and be nice and kind to this cop who's being a jerk to a kid in 8th grade, right? And so I say to my parents, you know, the normal, man. We had lunch, had a good time outside with my friends, got arrested for a bomb threat. My pops, now you gotta understand something, man. My pops is like 6'4", 270. He's a big dude. Does not know the definition of passive aggressive, and I love him for that. Mostly, I love him for that. He was like, what? Oh no, we going to the school. So my mom, my dad threw me in the car. I don't know where my brother was at the time. I think he was still in daycare. My brother's about like 10 years younger than me. And so we get up into the school and they just, they give the principal something, right? And then in the morning announcements, I get like a little weak ass apology over the morning announcements. Oh, we're sorry to Wesley Wade for the bomb threat. Just keep moving. But you know what else happened? My 8th grade English teacher. At that point in time, it was my favorite teacher. My favorite teacher is Miss Joanne McClellan in North Carolina. I love you, Miss Joanne McClellan. I talk to you soon. Black woman who helped me out. That's a story for another day. So my favorite teacher at that point in time is my English teacher. I remember her name, Miss Heard. It's the only time I'll say names because it hurt me, right? I love that class, man. She was the first person who really taught me symbolism, what a metaphor and a simile was, and that the creative ideas that I saw in stories and the way that I saw these things, that it mattered. That as long as I could support the ideas that I had with evidence from the story, that was a good argument. Oh, man, and I came to that class, she looked at me with this eye. I'd never seen her look at anyone. Looked at me like I went into her house and just like robbed her of everything, man. She never talked to me for the rest of the year. Even though I had a little weak apology over the morning announcements. What do you think that did to a kid in 8th grade, y'all? What do you think that did to my confidence? What do you think that did to me? Now, thankfully, I had a dad, I had a mom who loved me, who nourished me, who provided for me. I was in martial arts, I had a bunch of things. I had stuff going on to help me. But I was also ADHD, I was undiagnosed. I was also dyslexic, I was undiagnosed. And those ruminations go deeper and deeper and deeper. We spin and we spin and we spin and we spin. And sometimes it just becomes too much. Y'all got all this crazy stuff going on in Florida and all this and that. Hey man, sometimes life is uncomfortable, people, okay? Black people, our uncomfort seems to be necessary for some of y'all's comfort. All we saying in DEI stuff is like, hey, maybe you want to consider some other different ways because these are important. Diversity is important. We got some options in this world, all right? We can embrace diversity as a strength. It's empirically proven it's a strength. Diverse teams do a lot better. They think better. They have different ideas. What if we were building an app and maybe it had a sensor in it and it like, I don't know, it took oxygen readings or something, right? It was an actual machine that did that during COVID, right? It took your oxygen readings when you put your finger in there, but it didn't work for people who had darker skin tones. Why? That's not that hard, right? Diversity matters. It makes sense. All we're saying is like other people's experiences matter. It helps us to be smarter. But y'all trying to fight that. Why? You got to ask yourselves and reflect on that. I'm going to keep walking.